The end. An ear infection. Jeffrey had an ear infection. I missed the highlight of my year because Jeffrey had an ear infection. Thank God. It would have been so much worse. It could have been so much worse. We spent pretty much the whole night at the local emergency room until Jeffrey's blood came back at around 2 a.m. His white counts were low, but the doctor said he was probably just a response to the infection. His liver function test results actually looked better than they had in weeks. So this was going to be the usual routine week of IV antibiotics and Philly sickness. Jeffrey would be transported down there around 2 in the afternoon the next day. He had asked that I be allowed to ride down in the ambulance with him, and I was willing. They hadn't exactly said yes yet, but I had a feeling it was going to happen. My dad and I went home to sleep for a few hours and packed my stuff and collapsed into my bed and my clothes on. And I didn't wake up until after 11 a.m. As soon as I went downstairs, in the morning, I noticed the answering machine was blinking. We had slept through a lot of phone calls. There were about 1 million messages from people who had been at the concert wishing us well and checking on Jeffrey's health status. There were a few that jumped out to me. This is Judy Galey, Stephen's counselor from the middle school, calling. I hope Jeffrey is feeling better. Stephen, I was very proud of you tonight. When I first started working with you this year, you were so angry that I worried about you a lot. And you felt that all you couldn't control your own life. Now you have accepted control of your own path and are doing a wonderful job of helping those around you too. Just remember, instead of agonizing over the things that you can't change, I hit fast forward. I absolutely knew the rest by heart. Mr. Stoll here. Hope little guy is okay. Stephen, don't worry about leaving the concert. Max asked me to sit in and cover your parts, and I did. The band sounded great, and I wasn't what I would have been if you were there, but we all got by okay. Good night, dude. We'll see you tomorrow at your lesson. We lesson tomorrow? Max. Oh yeah, Mr. Watrous. This is Renee Albert. Hi, Stephen. I hope your brother is okay. Hi, Mr. Albert. Hi, Mrs. Albert. Good news. We finished totaling up the proceeds for the concert. $23,489.17. Stephen, Mr. Watrous is going to bring a check over later this week. I hope you let him in. Just kidding. This is Lynette. I hope everything is all right there, Stephen. Call me when you can about what happened, okay? I know you were leaving. I really meant it. I just wanted you to know. It was interesting hearing Annette and Renee right in a row like that. Somehow overnight I had figured out something. Renee was beautiful, but she was my friend now. On the other hand, Annette was my friend, and now she was beautiful. Makes about as much sense as anything ever does when you're talking about girls, right? The day started. I ate, I showered, my father drove me to the hospital, and I got my first ambulance ride. Jeffrey squeezed my hand with all his might for about 40 miles. Good thing my drum lesson was canceled because I wasn't sure I'd regain feeling in my hand for a few days. Still, that was okay. I knew if I hadn't been there, he'd have nothing to squeeze. We got to Philly. My mom met us. Jeffrey got installed in a room. His IV bags got hung. We stayed with him while he fell asleep for a nap. Then I tiptoed out and went to the hallway to say hi to Samantha and tell her how I had followed through with my promise to her. But when I got to her room, it was empty, and the bed was stripped. The next few minutes were a blur. I grabbed a little cord that calls a nurse and buzzed nonstop until a lady come charging in. She said it was semi-scary nurse voice. What's wrong? My voice came out all wobbly. There was a patient here. Her name is Samantha. She's my friend, and now she's not here. But she said she's always in this room. Did she get sent home? The nurse looked uncomfortable. Well, and then I knew. She's dead. She died. Answer me. Yes, she passed away early yesterday morning. She wasn't alone, was she? Was her mother with her? Yes, as far as I know, her mother was with her at the end. Was her sister? Was her sister with her? The nurse looked puzzled. Sister? Then that's when I lost it. I sat down, started crying and shouting and pounding on the floor and refused to get up. Somewhere the nurse called for a social worker. Somewhere in there my mom came running. Somewhere in there another nurse came in with a wrapped package about a foot and a half long, addressed from Samantha to me. My mom opened it in front of me. Samantha had returned my Pro Mark 5As with a note. Thank you for the company and the loan. Please think of me when you use these. Okay? Love, Sam. Oh, God. Now I would always have 2 pairs of special sticks.